Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Two Dicks Exposed. I am your host, not Mike.
And I'm your other host, not Pat.
And for the first time in like a month and a half,
It has been a long time.
it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
We're going to talk about anime.
Oh my god, it's almost like that's what this whole thing was started about.
Oh my god. And, of course, our special guest is back, and that is...
Couch Mike.
Couch Mike.
Catch Mike.
Couch Mike. So, yeah, I guess we could just jump right into it. We've had a couple of weeks to catch up on some of the new stuff that's dropping, and we've had some hits and some flops, and
It's been a great
TikToks.
season so far. There's the main one. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. We're not going to be discussing Demon Slayer because despite how popular it is, neither one of us actually watched it.
Not for lack of trying. I did attempt to find it last night, and it wasn't on Hulu, so I gave up in a natural gamer style.
I am trying to be decent because my fiance has started watching Demon Slayer, but getting her to watch anything is impossible. True fact, right? This gets a great segue into one of the animes on our list, right? The other night, I was at her house, and I was relaxing while she was upstairs, and when she came downstairs, I was watching Hell's Paradise.
Okay.
So I quickly paused it as soon as she walked in the room, and she was like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "I'm watching Hell's Paradise," and like I give her like an explanation of the story, right? Like what the story is about, blah blah blah, and I just look her straight in the eyes. I'm like, "I'll tell you the reason why I paused it is because this anime is beautiful and it's fantastic, and I don't want you to watch it." Think it looks cool, and then hit me with the words that I dread hearing from her every time I watch anime.
Wait, what's going on?
That and oh, I'd like to watch this one, and then I'm just like,
Well, at least we're only like 4 episodes in.
yeah. But here's the thing: we started Spy Family when Spy Family was coming out, and we still have not watched the second half of the second half of the first season. We watched the first 6 episodes of the second half, and I still haven't watched the last. I'm like, and that's an anime she loves, and that's an anime that we can watch with the girls. They love it, and it's dubbed.
So I got 2 stories, one for each of them. So, first off, not Mike's girlfriend. Me and her used to watch Attack on Titan like together every day or every week. We'd watch like the new episode the night came out. We were super hyped about it, and she was talking to me the other day, and she was like, "We need like a new anime to watch," and I was like, all right, well, there's like a couple on my list. And I was like, here's one that you might like. I don't know. I was like, it's beautiful. It's made by Mappa, but I was like, it's really gory. Right. And she was like, we literally watched Attack on Titan together. I'm like, oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
So I sent her the trailer for Hell's Paradise, and she's like, I 100% want to watch this. Like, we need to right now. So we started watching that, and spoiler alert, she fell asleep on the last episode because it was so fucking boring.
I did fall. I literally was getting tired.
Yeah,
of the
I was
episode.
knocking out.
Yeah.
And then our other buddy, he has been on this crazy like anime binge like the past like month and a half, like completely finished Fire Force, completely caught up or finished Gurren Lagann.
Who's that?
Jeff.
Oh, okay.
You know, not on this couch, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he like reached out to us and he was like, you know, what are other animes I can watch? And so like we're all just spitting stuff at him, and Spy Family was one of them. So that's what he decided to watch next, and he was just like, this show is so freaking wholesome. I love
It's so
it.
great.
He's like, it's different than everything I've been watching, but it's so amazing.
Right.
Before we get too far, I do want to step back onto Hell's Paradise.
Yes.
Because that is one of the big ones this season.
It is fantastic.
So if you haven't watched it, or if you haven't heard of it, this is the new big one from Mappa that they're putting out there.
Yes.
So right now Mappa has what is considered like the top 3 gory animes, which is Hell's Paradise, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
And actually, I just heard they picked up Boruto, the next season of Boruto.
Did they really?
Yeah, I saw that online. I haven't fact checked it because I like to believe everything I read online. But
no, not Couch Mike. Check that.
yeah,
Okay.
fact check.
Like,
us.
I mean,
fact
I
check
feel
us.
like Mappa is like the anime equivalent of like the Spirit Halloween, where they're just coming in, cleaning up the garbage, and just let's put something useful there.
Right.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because they have like that CGI thing, so they could give us a well animated Boruto episode
And
every episode.
Be fine
I
with
might
that.
try and watch it at that point.
I mean, Mappa picking up Attack on Titan is why I finally watched Attack on Titan.
That's fair.
Because, like, I'm in love with their animation. I was like, okay, well, I'll watch it just for the animation. And, like, luckily, by the end of the second half of season 3, I fell in love with it. So
Right.
I was like, oh, okay, well, I just love the series anyways now. So
Mhm.
the fact that Mappa does it is just like icing on the cake now.
Icing on the cake, which is funny because my favorite season of Attack on Titan wasn't even Mappa. It was season 3.
Yeah, see, the second half of season 3 is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like when they're trying to take back the wall and you get introduced to.
You get Levi. That's all we need to say
Yeah.
without spoiling what happens. You have Levi.
We already did an episode about this, actually.
Yeah, but we're not going to spoil it in this episode.
This episode.
God.
So
we're evolving as human beings.
working on it. So Hell's Paradise is fantastic.
Give him the rundown. What is this about? Not Patrick.
So it's about a gentleman or boy guy. They don't know how to say his name, like his age. He's old enough to get married. But anyways, his name is Gabumaro, right? And he's
not
called.
To be confused with the Digimon.
Oh yeah, Gabumaro.
Gabumano.
Sure,
No,
Gabumon.
he has that kissing
Gabumon.
disease.
Yeah. So Gabumaro is a ninja,
Like assassin.
Assassin, yeah. Who is like ridiculously strong, and he winds up getting caught by the Shogun, and they try to kill him. He's like impossible to kill, and then they finally like give him an option to like avoid being executed if he goes to this land out like on the coast of Japan and retrieve the elixir of life. Him and a bunch of other criminals who are also
Pretty much everyone on death row.
Yeah, everyone on death row has this option to like get pardoned if they can get the elixir of life back, but only one person can come back.
Do it,
yeah,
right.
so it's like Hunger Games, but like way better.
Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, it's
like everyone wants to fountain the youth, but we're all going to kill each other for it.
And it's so great. The sequence where like you see the butterfly, like when the one guy when the butterfly touched his hand and the butterfly floated in front of him, you see like the human face on the butterfly.
Yeah, it's very creepy.
It's
like a hinge of Willy Wonka.
I almost want to read the manga because like I want to see what the manga art looks like, because like I just get like when I see stuff like that, I'm like, oh my god, it's like if you took like the gore of Berserk and the horror of Junji Ito and combined it together like with scenes like that. I'm just like, that looks awesome.
And I mean, like even though like, okay, so the first 2 episodes were amazing, like action packed, gave you everything you wanted. The last 3 that have aired have been a little bit more on the slow side because they're more of like describing what's going on,
setting up like
and building
what's
character
coming.
development and relationships and stuff like that. I'm gonna keep watching it because I'm like,
I'm hooked
because it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
the art on this is so beautiful, and every episode has been beautiful. Like it hasn't been like 2 episodes of massive like investment and then like a bunch of really crappy like low budget. Like it's all been high budget animation.
What I like about it is the fact that so it's called Hell's Paradise because that's, I think the name of the island is called Hell's Paradise.
They refer to it as paradise.
They call it yeah. But like it's fucking
a living hell.
Living hell.
Yeah.
And the reason why they call it paradise is because like it's like has all these beautiful like
flowers,
fauna, like I think is the word.
Foliage,
yeah. And
if it starts with an F,
flower,
it's on the island.
And it's, all these beautiful flowers and all the colors, like, and Mappa doesn't skimp on any of those in the background at all. Like they'll be walking through the woods and it looks beautiful, like it looks like an actual paradise.
Yeah,
but like we know, like it's not.
It is not.
So Hell's Paradise is fantastic. I definitely recommend watching that one. By the time this one episode comes out, we might be
the season might be like over.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. We got like a lot more coming up in the pipeline.
What do you want to jump into next? You could take one. I haven't.
You brought up bad CGI, so I just want to touch on this one real quick. Cheat skill in another world. Brings back to this world, whatever. It's an anime about an ugly fat man guy in high school who gets bullied. He has 2 younger brothers. He has a younger brother and a sister who are twins, who are like good looking kids. Like the mom and dad, like they're like, oh, they're they don't look like a fat troll like the oldest son.
Yeah.
And
we're not gonna spit on him.
Yeah. So like the parents are garbage. Like I don't think I ever actually meet them. But he gets bullied. He gets picked on by his brothers, his brother and sister, or his little brother and sister. He gets bullied at school, all this stuff, and the only like saving grace he had was his grandpa, who always looked out for him. Right, was always there for him. But his grandpa passed away before the series starts, and left everything to his grandson. Like didn't like his mom and dad tried suing him to get like the inheritance, and the lawyers like his grandpa was so good, like he set up with like the lawyers that like there's no way they could touch this money. He was like, nah, you guys are terrible, go fuck yourselves, you get nothing, your son gets everything. And the parents at that point completely disown him. And you know, while he's in the house, he's sad. He punches out the mirror and he falls through like a hidden wall, and he finds like a door that like leads to another world. Well, in the other world, he's like in this like shack that's in the middle of the woods with like a fence that's around it with like a barrier that stops any monster from coming in. And the monsters are like super powerful monsters, and he like takes a spear and he like kills one of the monsters by like hurling the spear through the barrier, and he levels up to like level 200 or something like that. His stats go up, all that stuff. And then he winds up going home. His body augments to like deal with like his increased strength and all that stuff. And
So
he
he's just like super ripped. And
yep,
stuff.
super tall, super ripped, all that stuff. And super beautiful, like a handsome man, all that stuff. It does make me wish like we would get more animes where like the main character like they just was just a uglier character, and like people just like fell in like My Love Story.
Yeah,
that's why I love that story so much, was because like the character doesn't become a beautiful handsome man. He's still like this guy, and a girl falls in love with him.
Yeah, I want more stories where the really hot girl falls in love with the ugly guy because of his personality.
Because like why? Like I like give me that stuff. But when he was fat and ugly, he also wound up saving like this girl who was like, you know, rich or something like that. Like she's rich. You don't find that out. He winds up like stopping these guys who are harassing her. They beat the shit out of him. And she comes to the school the next day when he comes back. And all the kids at the school are like, oh my God, what? You're the blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. His brother and sister are like, what the fuck? Like, what? You're not my brother. You're handsome. Like, I actually, like, wouldn't mind it telling people you're my brother.
I say that to, you know, not couch
not
Mike
couch
every
Mike.
day. You're not my brother. You're handsome.
How dare you?
He's looking at me so confused right now. He's like, is this a compliment? Is this making fun of me? I don't
know what to do.
What do you do with your hands?
You beautiful, beautiful creature.
God, you're so ugly, handsome.
So he eventually gets invited to like this like this high school for like the elite and all that stuff, and he starts to like live a life where he starts to like realize his own self-worth, which also kind of like takes away from the fact that like the main girl in the series, like she was able to recognize him even though he was pretty, because like she's like, oh, like I was gonna come invite you to the academy even if you looked like your old self, because you were the only guy that like when all that shit, like people kept walking past me. She was like, and now it's just like for her, it's a bonus. Like she already had a crush on him because
sweet, I liked you, and now you're hot.
Now you're hot. Like I liked you, but now you're hot. So that's again icing on the cake. So the story's great. I read the manga, right?
Okay.
And I was really excited for this one. The reason why I bring up shitty CGI is because it's done by the same studio that gave us Reincarnated in Another World. So What If I'm a Spider? The one that we watched. Yeah.
Ew.
Which had great animation, but then like
but then the CGI is like
the spider was
Beast
bad.
Wars.
And then not only that, I found out that studio also, I don't know how they still have fucking work after this, but they are the studio that gave us the atrocity of Berserk 2016.
Oh my god.
Oh, and there are moments where like the animation is great and a lot of points, but like they'll just use CGI at like the most random moments for like the dumbest thing. Like there's like a moment where like he's like fighting a thing and it's like animation's fine, but then like he goes to turn and walk away and it's like that CGI, and I'm like, and it's like
they must have cut a deal where it's like, we'll do this for free, but we make like 10 cents for every stream.
Yeah. And the CGI, I swear the animation that they're using in the CGI moments is the same animation that they used for Berserk 2016. Like the sequence I'm talking about, I could see it in my brain where he turns away and starts walking away. It's the same sequence in like Berserk 2016 where Guts like turns and walks away, and they literally just took the shell of like
They
the
removed
skin
good
off
animation
of
and
Guts, and then they put this guy's skin on it, and they just copied and pasted.
Ugh.
It's so bad. Like, stop. CGI is terrible. Nobody wants it. Move on. But yeah, I had to bring that up because like it's the only one out of this list that has bad CGI in it.
Yeah, we can skip back to a great animated one again. And this is currently my number one watch for this season that I've jumped into so far. You can find it on Hulu. It's called Tengoku Daimakyo. Probably butchered that. But it's a really unique and awesome like post-apocalyptic story where it follows two different storylines.
Okay. I didn't know
So
that.
one storyline which
I
you're
didn't watch
introduced to first, it's a whole bunch of kids in like a school, which is kind of like walled off from the rest of the world. So think like Promised Neverland, but like more high tech.
Okay.
So that's like storyline number one. And each of the kids seem to have like fun powers. Like one kid falls off like a 3rd-story building and like lands on his back and gets up and he's like, oh shit, I got to do that better next time.
Right.
And then you got like another girl who can like stick to walls and stuff like that. And then there's the two main people in there, who is this girl who seems to have like a hinge of like prophetic abilities.
Okay.
And then this other kid who hasn't really discovered like what he is. Like he's just kind of the crybaby that runs around.
Right.
Story 2 is these two kids out in the apocalyptic version of the world, like wandering around outside the walls. So, but the fun twist is they have the same exact faces as the two kids inside the walls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not them leaving the wall.
No.
Oh.
2 different storylines. So I'm getting so interested in how this is tying together because it's like 4 episodes in now, and you can start seeing like the puzzle pieces line up.
Fuck.
But so the kids on the outside they're on a journey. So you have the girl who's older, who she's kind of like the bodyguard. That's her position. Then the younger kid is kind of like, he grew up in the slums, doesn't really know what's going on.
Right.
And he's kind of just been like passed around from like cult leader to cult leader. Like he's just following whoever can keep him alive.
Okay.
And the most recent like leader he was following on her deathbed was like hired this bodyguard and said, take him to heaven, and then died. So like this kid's purpose now is, I need to go to heaven. And I haven't read this or anything either.
Right.
And I'm just assuming right now heaven is inside the walls. But so like, so
Makes
on the
sense. That's what I was
outside,
thinking when you were explaining it.
they're on this journey to find heaven. They have no clues or anything. So they're just kind of like wandering the world. On the inside, the kids are kind of like, something is wrong. This can't be the real world because everything just doesn't make sense. So they're trying to figure out like
what's outside the walls.
Everything's so confusing and everything's so amazing. And
dude, I need to
check
watch
it out. I think there's like 4 episodes right now. Like I'm the most hyped to watch that every week. I could throw that out there. Tengoku Daimakyo.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, and it has like the same like kind of like fat face animation as like Akira, or like a Ghibli. If you took Ghibli and you took Akira and you smacked them together, that's kind of like what the animation looks like.
It has a more like older animation style.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember, like I can't think of anything like currently like I could like compare it to. But it definitely looks like something that like anime wise, like style wise, was like like the mid 2000s, like 2010 era.
Yeah, and I did
like
look up
the
manga too, because I wanted to see like what that was drawn as.
Right.
And it's Battle Angel Alita. That's what the art style reminds me of.
Okay, yep.
So
yeah, because
give it a watch. Please give it a watch.
If you haven't watched it either, you're probably like me and you've seen the clip of the anime that he's talking about. There's a scene where it's a girl standing in front of a monster trying to like say like, hey, look, see, he's fine. And then the monster like slices her head off and it flies off, right?
Yeah.
Because like that's all I know about this anime. Like because like every time I'm on Instagram, like scrolling through reels,
right,
finding dumb shit to send you, or on TikTok, like,
that's the clip you see.
Almost without like an issue, it's always that clip.
And so the cool thing about this anime too is like, if you haven't read it, you have no idea what the fuck is going on right now.
Yeah.
5 episodes in. But the reason you have no idea what the fuck is going on right now is because no one in the show knows what the fuck is going on.
Oh, really?
Because the cataclysm, is that, as they call it, was only like 18 years ago. So like most of the main characters that are still alive were either a kid when that happened or born after. And so like they only know this post-apocalyptic life.
All right. I'm going to watch that one.
Watch it tonight.
I'm going to watch it tonight. Another anime that is another one, like we're going like back and forth here, is Konosuba, An Explosion on This Wonderful World.
Need to watch.
You need to watch that.
Need to watch it.
You've watched Konosuba. You've watched season 1 and 2. You've watched the movie. Season 3 is right around the corner.
Yup.
It is fantastic. It is literally a slice of life anime about Megumin in school with all of her other wizard, like remember all the wizards.
This is prequel.
This is a prequel. Remember all the wizards from the movie? You watched the movie, right?
Yeah.
So like all the girls there, they're on school and stuff like that. I love that. Like the running joke is that Union, her rival,
right,
is always calling out the professor, saying like that doesn't make sense, and he's like -10 points, right? Like for these things where like it's like the idea for everyone in this village is that you're supposed to do it extra. It's always supposed to be extra.
Right.
So Union's like, why can't we just do this? And he's like, -10 points. And like Megumin's like, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. She does like all the grandiose things, and she gets like +10 points, but she's like the weaker wizard than Union. And I'm like, I love this series. It's so good because like it doesn't have a lot of the humor that Konosuba has, because Konosuba has 4 characters that you can feed off of. You got Darkness, Aqua, Kazuma, and Megumin. Right. Just them 4 alone. And like we said before in our discussion with them, they are just trash people that fling around in the mud. And if you try touching them, you're going to get pulled into the mud as well. In this one, you just have Megumin, who is like the trash character, but she's not, right? And so like there's still that humor in it, but you also get like have those awe moments because you're like, oh, she's a really good sister and she loves her little sister, and you're like, you have those good moments, and then it turns around and the sister does something stupid and you laugh at that. But it's great, and the animation is so fucking good too.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I watched the original Konosuba, and I was like, how is this such like a kind of like trash comedy anime with such a great animation budget? Like,
so great animation budget.
It's funny because like I've seen like things too, like memes online where it's like super dark gritty city, and it's like it shows like a castle from above, and then it's like Konosuba's town, and it's like the most detailed like piece of shit ever, like just smack dab in there. And it's like this had $1 million budget, this had a $20 budget.
I love Konosuba, and it sucks that his other he has another work that did get an anime called Special Agent Combat 6 or something like that.
Okay.
And it's the manga's good, and the manga's hilarious, but the anime just did not have the same oomph that Konosuba had. It's great. I'll explain it to you really quickly. It's pretty much, imagine if a general for Rita Repulsa's army was a human, and he was sent to another world to like try to figure out if it's a world that's worth like conquering.
Invading?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like they have like monster characters and stuff like that, but like the general, like he's a human, and he gets sent there, and he's just a trash character because he's evil. Right. So like he's trying to conquer the world, but he winds up doing good things for them, but like also because it benefits him. One of my favorite things is like he gets the ability to summon things to his, like from his world to that world. Okay. But he has to have like evil points, and like one of his favorite things to do is like he'll like go around and like just harass people, and he'll like go up to girls and be like, check out this magic trick, and like he can like make his zipper go up and down so like it's showing his and so everyone's like, oh no, it's a zipper man. And there's a girl who like sacrificed her like ability to walk to like be able to cast like dark magic spells, and she's trash, and I love her. She's my favorite character. and she's like joking around. She's like, "I'll show you my underwear," blah 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 blah. And he just walks up and like just flips her skirt up, and she's like, "Because I can't run away from you, you're just gonna do that to me." It's great. It's a great read.
No,
But,
it sounds like a wholesome
it's,
family
it's so
anime.
good. Just because we brought Konosuba. But yeah, you definitely need to watch Konosuba: An Explosion on This Wonderful World.
Okay.
Um,
I guess my next one, I'll jump into real quick. It's kind of just a feel good one. It's called My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999.
oh, you actually watched that one?
Yeah, I am. I'm like 2 episodes behind, but yeah.
Okay, I watched like the first part of the first episode. So
Yeah, so the general story is this girl was dating this guy, and the guy was like, "Hey, I want to do something together with you. Let's play this online video game." So they end up playing it, and the guy ends up dumping this girl. So in her sorrow, she needs something to distract herself from. So she ends up logging back into the video game, where she finds out that there's like this special event going on in town. So she's like, "Oh my God, maybe if I go to this special event, my ex-boyfriend's going to be there. I can run into him and be like, hey, see, we still have everything in common. Like, let's hang out again." So she gets there and accidentally bumps into like the number 1 player, who is just like a complete stud muffin. And I don't know, things lead to things. They end up like awkwardly running into each other the entire time. And, there's some weird love thing going on there. It's cute. It makes you feel good.
he's like emotionally like
Not
there at
not
all.
there.
And
He's like
she's
blank slate, and she is like 300% emotion.
right.
Yeah.
So that it's one that's on my watch list as a rom-com like shoujo lover.
Yeah.
So like it's definitely one that I intend to watch, but like I haven't gotten there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Another anime that is on here, I'll knock these ones out because you haven't watched Summon to Another or Skip
No.
All right.
Nah.
So Summon to Another World for a second time is an isekai. I read the manga for this one. But the manga hasn't updated, so like when they came out with the anime that's based off the light novel, I was like, hell yeah, fuck, I'll watch the anime. Pretty much, guy got summoned to another world, and he like was the hero, stopped the Demon King, and blah blah, like set up like a peace treaty and all that stuff. And he winds up getting reincarnated back in his original world, our world, and eventually his whole class gets summoned to that world again, and turns out like the war's breaking out between the Demon King and the humans again, and he clearly doesn't have like his body anymore, because like when he got summoned over, when they sent him back, he was reincarnated as a baby, so now he has like a different body, so he looks different, and he's just going through and like, I'm just gonna run through all these places, and I still have all my original powers, so I'm just gonna go and like stop this war. Like, I'm gonna go talk to the Demon King and figure out like what the fuck is going on. Like, stop
It's
it.
like, I put you in charge. How'd you screw this
How
up?
did you mess this up? I told you I wanted peace, and like you find out like it's not the Demon King, because like when he gets to the Demon King's world, like they're like, well, the humans invaded us, and that's why we're going to war with the humans. And you're like, oh, okay, something's happening.
That makes sense. Humans
Yeah.
fuck things up.
Well, like, but the humans are also getting invaded by these creatures that they think of the Demon Kings are. So it's somebody in between who's trying
third
to break.
party.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's great. The animation's fantastic, and the story is great. So like, if you want, I would recommend it as
Okay.
well.
Is
Like,
that a
pick
Crunchyroll thing?
Crunchyroll? Yeah.
Okay. I'll give it a
And
shot.
Skip and Loafer is another rom-com that came out this season that is also great. It's about a girl that like, she's like a country girl. She goes to like school out in the boonies, and she's now like the number 1 school at like a school in Tokyo. So now she's living in Tokyo, and so she's like trying her best to like be like the girl, like, oh, it's my thing, everything, like everything's gonna be up, I'm gonna be a prime minister and all this stuff. Like, she has like all these like huge
Nice.
aspirations for her.
Just legally blonding it out there.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Okay.
but like and she like on her first day she runs into like all these things, and like the most like handsome guy in class like sees her like struggling to like even just get to school, and he finds her amusing, so he starts to like follow her around, because he's like, this girl's funny, and I like this girl.
Okay.
And like he obviously likes this girl, like he has like a thing for her, so he keeps like following her around, and it's great because like it deals like there are like like actual like teenage moments that kind of happen that like seem like they would be plausible like in a high school drama, instead of like the far out like, oh my god, I tripped and fell down the stairs and I landed on this girl and my girlfriend walked around the corner and it looks like I'm having sex with this girl.
That
Like,
escalated real quick.
But that's what happens. That's how.
Hey man, you don't know what happens in Japan.
I mean, you're right. I don't. I've never been there.
You've never been.
But that's great, and I would definitely recommend that one as well. I'm trying to think. I was thinking about something else, and I lost my brain. I lost it.
Yeah.
But
so after those two, there is one I want to mention that is on our to watch list. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff online about it. It's called was it Dead Mount Death Play?
Yes.
So everything I've seen online seems to follow this not an exorcist, that's not his name. The people who can bring the dead back to life.
Necromancer.
Yeah, so the main character seems to be like this OP necromancer.
Ooh, okay.
That's what the clips I've seen are leading to. I did try and watch episode 1, and episode 1 is just like a 20-minute long fight scene of a hero from another. It's like it takes place in another world where they invade a dungeon that has like a necromancer, big skeleton god boss thing, and the hero, like the church's hero, comes in to fight it, and the whole episode 1 is just them fighting. And I kind of got bored of it because it has like, it has that good CGI.
Okay.
But you can tell it's CGI as opposed to like Mappa, which looks like CGI that's like anime.
Right.
This is like CGI that's clearly CGI.
Yeah.
Inserted into it. So I don't know. Like for me to watch something like that, the storyline has to be like peak.
Yeah.
And it didn't pull me in on episode 1, but I do want to force myself to kind of keep up with it because people are raving about it.
I understand what you're talking about. Like for me, I'm a huge fan of Overlord. I might have brought that up in this podcast at some point.
It's similar. Yeah.
It's a fantastic series. The story is great, but there are just moments where they just use shit CGI, and I'm just like, why would you do this? But like
season 2 about the lizard people, that was a rough watch for me.
Season 2 also had the Goblin Army.
Yeah. It went from a great season 1 to a completely ignoring all the characters they built season 2.
I'm really excited for the movie. So
okay,
but that we got to touch on it.
We got to touch on it.
We got Mashle,
Magic and Muscles,
bro.
Finally here.
So beautifully animated
and true to the manga.
So true. I only had one tiniest little thing was that the fact that they didn't do the stupid face. Like remember when he was shooting the bombs at him, and his face was just like that.
Oh, like okay, that was your complaint.
They don't do that, and I was just like, aw. But like, other than that one tiny like 2 panels, everything has been spot on.
It's been great.
It's been great. What the hell is this?
Now, one thing I do gotta say, if you people out there are watching it and you find it hilarious, you need to read it because what they do in the anime is great, but the way they also portray it in manga form, like just straight up picture form, is very like slap comedy, like right in your face, and like one-liners that like in the anime they had to like expand upon the one-liner to actually fulfill the joke. In the manga, it's just like single panel, like, you know, the world is ending, here's a cream puff type deal. It's the same storyline that hits 2 different ways, so you gotta indulge in both.
You really do. It is one of those ones where like truly like my issue with like a lot of times like reading a manga than watching the anime is like I get this like I've already seen this. I'm like it's not really enticing me.
Yeah,
because it's just the same thing.
It's a lot of playing on your phone while it's in the background.
Yeah, it's like all right, I already know what's gonna happen with this one because the jokes do hit differently. It's like this is funny and this is funny and they are both funny, but you have to pay attention to both of them. I imagine that's probably how people feel about the Gintama manga, right? Like because the anime is
fair enough. Yeah,
anime is fucking hilarious. Like that anime geeks me out so much. Like I know you haven't watched it.
No, I need to.
You need to. I always tell people, if you ever want to watch Gintama, though, if it stops being funny, take a break because you're getting numb to the jokes. Take like a week off. Take a week or two off, and then come back to it because like it's just hilariousness after hilariousness after
That's like a
hilariousness.
300 episode anime.
It is a
isn't it?
long
It's
anime.
long ass anime.
Yeah. And it has like really good serious moments too. Like when like they really dive into Gintoki's like background and all that stuff. It gets like really deep and like dark.
Interesting.
But yeah, Mashle is fantastic. I think that's A1 Studios.
A1 Studios, yeah,
is doing it, and the animation's great.
It's solid. They do it justice.
Yeah, they're doing it a solid job, and
yeah.
I'm in love with it.
It can only get better because it's
haven't even met
the
the full
current
cast
week's episode that we're on.
Yeah,
it's like finally introduced the main cast, so now it's like jumping into the story. Well,
we still haven't met the
main character,
the girl crazy guy,
the girl crazy,
the one that like is like wants to be the popular guy, and he wants
the main character kid.
Yeah,
that they meet in the
yeah. He
wants to be the main character.
Yeah,
he sees himself as the main character in his life.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't met him yet.
Okay.
So.
But that's an interesting introduction though.
Yeah,
like that. The forest scene is cool.
They literally like if you paid attention to the end credits, like the next episode literally just tells you it's good. He's in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there we go.
we know. So yeah, that about wraps up all the animes for the season. Obviously, there's one more just honorable mention that is going on the season. Oshi no Ko. I haven't watched it. I know you haven't watched it.
Never heard of it.
It is currently ranked the #1 anime.
I have heard of it.
Yes, and I someone explained it to me, and I've watched. There's an anime. I might have sent it to you. The one reel where it's she's on the stage singing,
and the babies have
the glow sticks. Yeah,
I'm sure everyone's seen it at this point.
Yeah, it's that anime, and it looks fantastic, and I am really excited to watch it. But sadly, it is an anime that my fiance found and said, "This looks great, and I'd like to watch it."
It's only on High Dive, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I recently paid for a whole year of that. So
dope. So I'll be stealing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be watching it with you.
Yeah,
legally.
exactly. Legally.
I think this could also be called, if it was an isekai, my life as a gynecologist, and I died and was reincarnated as my patient's son. So if that didn't give away enough of the storyline, then there you go. But yeah, I've heard nothing but great things.
I need to watch it. So that wraps up all the animes. Again, I'm sorry we haven't watched Demon Slayer. We will get to it.
Yeah.
And we will eventually watch Oshi no Ko. If that's why you're tuning in to hear us talk about those two, we will get to it. Maybe we'll just do like a separate episode.
I guess you'll have to keep watching until we get back to it.
Yeah.
And then just a reminder, our two bigs are coming back. We got Jujutsu Kaisen, which is coming back on July 6th. We get to see the Baby Gojo arc.
Yeah.
Which is pretty exciting if you're a reader. And then
I just want to touch on that real quick because in our group chat, I literally was like, "Oh yeah, the next arc's about supposedly about like teenage Gojo," and you're like, "Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, the next arc, the next season's the Shibuya arc," and I was like, "So was I correct or what?" Because I don't know what terminology you meant.
So the next season is Baby Gojo arc,
right?
I don't know what it's called. No, so Shibuya arc takes place after
the Baby Gojo
season
arc.
1. So Baby Gojo obviously is a prequel to everything happening in Jujutsu Kaisen. It takes place while Gojo is in the school, pretty much, while he's a student in the school. The Shibuya arc takes place after everything and is basically Stitch Forehead guy, I don't remember his name. He locks down the town of Shibuya and releases a shit ton of demons. So everyone just goes into this town and is like, we need to save everyone.
So kind of like another 100, the Night of 100 Curses thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they're trying to do another one of those, like in movie Zero. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, all right.
But it's amazing.
But the Gojo baby arc is canon.
It's still a good watch.
It's canon though.
Canon, yes.
Okay. All right. So it's in the manga.
In the manga.
All
yes.
right. All right. Cool. And then the other big one that's coming out is we're getting season 2 of Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War.
Hella hyped.
So hyped. I mean, thank you for like I am annoyed that the anime like is the manga's done. There should be no reason to take a break. But like, if it means taking a break means that we don't get filler episodes, then I am okay with waiting.
They also said that the animation in part 2 is going to be better than in part 1.
Yeah,
which I don't understand how is possible because part 1 was amazing,
beautiful.
So if this
God, it
is
was so
even more
great.
beautiful,
Yeah. Which is why like I'm also like bummed that we still haven't watched Demon Slayer season 4 because they Ufotable came out and said that season like we haven't seen nothing yet, and I'm like, but Usui Tenguin fight was gorgeous.
amazing.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm just now realizing this as we're coming to the end of our episode. Not Couch Mike. Didn't we give you a task about whether Boruto is being done by Mappa or not? And you still haven't given us an answer, as he's not paying attention to us.
Hey, Wiener face.
When I looked it up, it said no.
All right. Thank you, producer. You had one
I haven't
job.
watched any of the new animes.
We
I'm
gave you-
waiting for the next episode.
We gave you one job this whole episode.
We literally said, look this up, and you were like, I'm on it.
Yeah, then you guys got 5 animes deep, and I was like, I'm not just gonna.
Yeah, we're
That's
always
exactly
going
what
to
you
be
did.
5
You
animes
guys don't
deep.
have a breaking point.
No, we
You
don't.
just have a conversation.
You just have
if
to
I
stop
interrupt,
us.
he's just gonna cut it anyway.
You're allowed to join the conversation.
I don't want to be weak off.
You are the weak all.
I know.
Whack you
I
off.
am now asshole.
Anyways.
I am not couch Mike anymore.
You're couch asshole.
Yeah,
Anyway.
one job. Anyways. So
Anyway.
yeah, that wraps up all the animes that we've been watching this season and will be watching this
Yeah, that's
season.
basically our quarterly catch up with you.
So,
Tune in next time as we are about to dive into a little bit of a different thing here.
A little bit. We'll come back to anime. We're
going to come back to anime,
right,
but we're
we got-
taking a little bit of breathers, so you don't get bored and so we don't keep repeating the same thing about Gundam and Mashle and One Punch Man.
Yeah, maybe we should actually come up with like a I don't know, a script.
Yeah, we're
But not like a
rambling.
script.
We're rambling.
Yeah.
Anyway, join us next week as we dive into superheroes and shit.
Yeah. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure to join us here every Thursday on YouTube and Spotify as we drop new episodes of that good shit.
And don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok for some solid filler content to get you through the week at Not Mike, Not Pat. You should be watching.